The biggest mistake people will usually make when trying to attract a healthy partner is they typically gravitate towards what's familiar, past patterns. What normally may seem out of the normal and into the unknown relationship is probably a more healthier relationship. Because if you keep accepting similar people in your life due to the past patterns or however you were raised to understand what relationships and love is, if you keep going for that, you're going to keep getting the same result. And on top of that, the other thing to really recognize, it's usually not the person that you're in love with. It's usually that feeling that they give you. And if that's what you're aiming for, the payout of that feeling, that ooey gooey, oh, I'm in love feeling, maybe even sex, whatever's driving you that you're missing out on in your life that you can't provide for yourself, which is that internal self-love. Maybe you're seeking validation and approval. If you're not getting that from yourself, you seek it from other sources that can give it to you. And it's not them that you are in love with. It's what feeling they provide for you that you're getting. It's the feeling that they're giving you. It's not really them. Let's get it. So how do we attract a healthy relationship? Well, number one is looking at the attachment. What are we attached to? And are we going to keep falling into these familiar patterns? And the other biggest mistake that people will make, there's two of them. The other one is you start to learn and watch videos like this on attracting partners, and you start getting these ideas of how you should act, how you should portray yourself. And you know what I realized? If it's anything other than you, learning how to express yourself more vulnerably, more authentically, the most in-aligned version of you, of who you really are, to someone else, if it's not learning how to communicate who you are better to them, and it's something that's out of who you are, you're learning tactics. Oh, I'm going to do this so they can like me. I'm going to act like this. I'm going to do these cute little things that the online dating coach said to do. There's a lot of good dating coaches, don't get me wrong. Point is, if it's anything else but being yourself, and you're trying things that are not in alignment with who you are, that's manipulation. Now you're borderline narcissist. And what's happening is you're putting on this mask, right? You're putting on this mask and you're like, let me woo you with the fake me, right? And then they fall in love with that version of you. And then eventually when the charade it gives up, 3-4 months down the road, a year, maybe 2, and you're wondering, man, I'm not comfortable here in this relationship. I don't feel like I'm being myself. Something is wrong. This partner doesn't feel right. There's things about me that I like, maybe even certain kinks. There's a lot of people who have tons of kinks and are afraid to share them with their significant other because they're afraid they will leave. Imagine if your favorite artist is Taylor Swift and your significant other does not like Taylor Swift. Can you really be with them? Are you gonna be able to play music in the house together in the household? When you're out drinking at the bar with all their buddies and stuff, and they're like, yeah, F Taylor Swift, and they come over to high five you, and they're like, yeah, F Taylor Swift, right? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna high five them back and sacrifice what you like to match and meet their validation and approval? Maybe you do lose the relationship because they don't like Taylor Swift that much. Think about that. But you have to go in knowing that you have to accept who you are and show up as yourself and say, no, I love Taylor Swift. You have to start showing up with yourself because anything that's a mask is they're falling in love with the fake version of you and not the real you. The real sign of love is this person will accept you as you are, even if you love Taylor Swift or not. They're going to accept you as is, as the whole package. And if they can't accept that, they aren't the one. All right, they are not the one. Let them go. Let go of that payout. There's plenty of other people. There's like 7 billion people on the planet. You mean to tell me there's not another one that has similar boxes checked off and actually likes Taylor Swift? And all relationships are just incremental adjustment to each other by setting healthy boundaries and making sure that you get to a place of where maybe one day there's something you can't change about each other to help, mitigate situations because that's just who they are. What ends up happening is you start compromising, right? Sacrificing your needs maybe to a certain degree. And maybe that's when it's time for that relationship to split apart because you've done enough. You've done the growing. You've decided what you like and what you don't like, what you prefer. You've set boundaries. You made incremental adjustments to each other. So if you show up with a mask, you're never going to be able to make those incremental adjustments because they're going to believe you're always here and there's nothing changing. And then when you want changes to happen, maybe you're too afraid to express them. Maybe you're too afraid to set your boundaries because you're afraid they'll leave. Fear of abandonment, that abandonment moon kicking in. Those are the biggest mistakes. So I challenge you, look within and find out, what are you getting? Is it this payout of love? Has it been too much time that you've been in this relationship that you can't leave? It's the payout of comfort rather than the unknown, where your ego is fearing because your ego wants to latch on to this comfort where you're at rather than stepping into the unknown where you get to deserve 100% of the love you should have in your life. Not 80%, not settling for 80, not 90, not 99. You deserve 100%. So find out what payouts you're getting. Are you showing up authentically, vulnerably, without fear of the outcome, without fear of rejection? Are you doing things that aren't really in alignment with who you are and putting on this mask? Are they falling in love with you or the fake you? Because you know what hurts more than someone not liking you and rejecting you? Is someone falling in love with the fake version of you and not the real you. And then remember, number 3 is going to be setting and making incremental adjustments to each other. Set boundaries, express your needs, be vulnerable. In order to do that, you got to be vulnerable. All right. So have an alchemizing day. May you find the most beautiful partner ever. And namaste.